Welcome to the Chrysalis Temple, a sacred portal where the quantum meets the mystical. We awaken timelines, dissolve limits, and embody the frequency of your highest self. Welcome to the Chrysalis Temple podcast. This is your sacred space for deep cellular remembrance, alchemical transformation, and a coming back to your divine feminine power. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest. We're gonna go pretty deep in today's episode. So she is a really multi-dimensional, a starseed, a grid worker, a healer, a priestess, and so much more. So we're getting really woo-woo today. And with that being said, I want to welcome Taylor. I am so happy and excited to have you on today's episode and get into all the things. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Yeah, so let's get right into it then. Let's go in deep. So, can you begin with your story, I guess, more so of your awakening and your remembrance when you first just really truly remembered who you are on a soul level, not just in this body as being a healer, a priestess, and all these things, but really the soul essence that you are and the mission that you came here to really do the mission that you came here to do on earth. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess probably one of the most profound moments to where I feel like I really crossed like a threshold. Um, I was sitting in my room after, so I was previously married, and I had, um, I guess we had already been separated for a while and were in the process of getting divorced. I had to move back in with my parents, and I was getting ready to go to grad school. And so COVID messed everything up because this was 2020. Um, and I had all these plans, which totally got derailed because of, COVID and the mandates and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so everything basically got screwed up. And I remember just praying. I was like so excited to go continue my journey in grad school and help. I was working with survivors of severe psychological trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And, I basically went into that because I'm sure you've read a little bit about my story. My mother, I believe, went through some really, really, really absolutely extreme darkness things. And so I kind of made it my mission that I was going to go try to work with people that have had a similar life experience
Mm-hmm.
and help them, like in a professional manner. So I kind of I literally called out to God and, the angels and said, I, I, I promise, you know, please send me where I need to go in order to fulfill my mission, which I believe is to help these people that have specifically been through things like SRA. I would assume you know what that is.
Uh, SRA?
Oh yeah, sorry. Satanic ritual abuse.
Okay.
So
Okay. So in that, okay, yeah.
yeah, so like the most severe end
Yeah.
of the spectrum
Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah.
It's usually sexual, I mean, among other things. And so I was like, yeah, just send me where I need to go. Like, please, let me get in to this grad school if it's meant to be. And I promise I will, um, fulfill my mission. Like, send me where I need to go. And I had just experienced a Kundalini awakening right around that time. This was
Mm.
like March or April 2020. So it was like right after they announced, um, all the shutdowns and the lockdowns and all that. So it was weird, everyone was like locked in their house,
Yeah.
and everything was shut down. My um, undergraduate school had shut down, so they made us, continue online. So it was just kind of like a bizarre time, I felt like we were living in like the Twilight Zone. It was just really weird. And I knew that like we had crossed some kind of threshold as in like society at that point. Like there's no going back. Whatever's going on right now, there's no going back to
Yeah.
before, essentially.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so fast forward to um I guess May. I found out I got into where I wanted to go, and I'm not going to name the place just because I would to like to stay more under the radar because of the nature of the things that we're talking about. But I
Yeah,
was,
that's fine.
yeah, I was blown away. The caliber of the school that I got into. Neither of my parents went to college. They're like blue collar workers, so it's
Mm.
not like I um, got in because I'm like a, what's the word, um, nepo baby or something. Um, so anyway, so I was just like, wow, I'm gonna do this. And because that area was shut down, um, I made it a point to go work with somebody that was an expert in that field, working with extreme psychological trauma.
Mm.
Um, so which I started doing, and then I started having just crazy like mystical experiences, um totally just bizarre encounters, like with kind of like um basically I think I started communicating with like the spirit world at that point, like really understanding that I was
Yeah.
not the same person that I was prior to that happening.
Mm.
um so that's when all that's essentially when
When it
my
is.
like, awakening really started, at that
And,
point.
and do you think in your like how it felt for you, do you think it had to do with the work you were going into, just or was it because of the kundalini awakening? Because with a kundalini awakening, there's so much that happens that actually gets brought up. It's like, you know, or was it a combination of everything? Or do you think it was just just the way it was supposed to happen for you?
Kind of a combination of all three. Like I do, um, from what I've gathered, I have heard other people say that when you make like a plea like that, like to, obviously you can do it, people do it to malevolent forces, or people do, it's all of your intention, right? So
Right.
in my case, I was pleading to like God and the angels and saying like, I want to devote my
Mm.
life essentially to bringing more light into this world and healing people that have been through
Yeah.
extreme darkness. um so yeah, and then I feel like I was like assisted at that point also with the kundalini, basically because it like put me like on the exact right path, like meeting people who I needed to meet, having the experiences I needed to have. Like things have just been really weird, like especially in the past couple of years. I've
Right.
just I don't even know how to explain this experiences that I've had other than it's straight like supernatural experiences.
Supernatural.
Like I'm definitely being guided, protected, and led by a force much higher than me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so some of that I believe to be angels. Like I do believe I have genuine angelic contact.
Okay.
And then I do have, I believe I have ET contact, direct ancestor contact, obviously with like my mother, and but then also um, other ancestors that have passed on. So yeah.
Okay, so let's get into that a little bit then. I'd like to explore because there's also so much. We have our questions, but also like, so your let's get into because you said ET connections. Like, do you mean like from, because I've mentioned that you're a star seed and you said you're a Venusian star seed, right? So let's get into that. Do you think the ETs or the interdimensionals, however you want to, I kind of go with interdimensionals, but whatever. Do you think it's related to your, let's say, starseed family, like your kind of what do you call it? I'm forgetting the term. So yeah, like, is it related to your starseed lineage or is it others? And how does that help you on your mission in helping people in healing? How does that, do you get like downloads, do you get like remembrance on things that you do within your work, because you have a lot of background also in many different things, so yeah.
Um, yeah, so let me just start with well, first of all, so I'm definitely claircognizant, and I've been learning like
Mm.
without a doubt to trust that at all times. Like the past maybe year or two, I've been absolutely perfecting it, and I've gotten to a point like even just within the past couple months, like I am trusting 100% the information that I'm getting. Like if some, um, it's like so I had it's like I'm literally getting like breadcrumbs like
Mm-hmm.
of information that I
Information.
need.
Just boop.
Um, just like about either somebody that is trying to interact with me or like finding information to like then put out to the masses. Like I'm literally just led, like it couldn't be more perfect sometimes, the information that I stumble upon. So part of that I think is coming from them.
Mm-hmm.
um so in 2020 I just went to like a metaphysical shop, and this was like when I was basically in the beginning of my awakening, right? So I would say I was like very very amateur at that point. To I mean, I was like spiritual, but it was kind of like, I
On the surface, kind of.
on the surface, like how everyone it's like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
spiritual
yeah,
if
yeah,
I have a
yeah.
couple of crystals and I
Right,
do yoga.
right.
So it was more amateur at that point. So, anyways, I went to a starseed workshop, and it was supposed to be like find your divine origins of your star family.
Mm.
And at that point, I was really open to it, but I even was like, oh, this is probably kind of weird, like woo woo. Like for me at that point, I was like, this is really kind of out there. And there was a shamanic guide leading the class, and she like came in and said, let's see. So first of all, she told me, which is crazy. So first of all, she told me that I was what did she say? Daughter of Ereshkigal, Gal, which is like the Sumerian goddess of the
Yeah,
underworld.
I've heard of Rush. Rush.
And so I didn't even know who that was at that point. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. She maybe she's just like making this information up.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then but then I found out, and it kind of all ties back and forth. We can go into it later. Like I have my ancestry that goes way 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 back is literally Sumerian, like thousands of years ago, when Ereshkigal is Sumerian. So this woman was
Right.
somehow getting that just from like my field. um and then sure, the other thing she said was so she just led us in like a little meditation, and everyone closed their eyes and the room was dark, and she's like, okay, we'll just meditate and kind of ask them to
Mm-hmm.
come to you. And so I was like, this is kind of weird. What am I supposed to do? Everyone's closing their eyes. And I saw, like, my eyes are closed, but just like within my mind, I saw a mantis being. And I
Mm.
was like, okay, is my mind just like making like pictures up or making things up? And but I was like, okay, so that's what I saw. And I wasn't like any particular kind of expert on like all the species of ETs at that point or anything. So I was
Right.
like, well, that was interesting. And then later, um, we all went around and shared, and someone else said they saw a mantis being like in the room, and I was like, oh my god, like, so am I not imagining this? Like, why? Like,
Right.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. So then maybe 3 or so years after that, I had so I am certified in QHHT. I just never really got into it because I was doing Reiki and
Hmm.
other things. So I had someone do QHHT for me for my birthday, and it was, it's a long like day and experience. You spend like 6 or 7 hours with this person,
Yeah,
and
I'm familiar with that. Sorry, I just.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
so then the mantis beings are there again. So she regressed me in one of my, and the thing is too, it's called like past life regression, but the way that kind of time works and operates is like it can it's not necessarily the past, it can also be like a concurrent timeline, if you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah. It like what do they call it?
It's like
Yeah, like
overlapping, like
at the same time because of the time. Yeah, like it could be happening like basically now and
now
in the
also.
past and in future, and it's all kind of interconnected,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So yeah, so one of the lifetimes I remember seeing this, it's kind of hard to describe unless you've seen it. But I was seeing, obviously I saw like the beings, the mantis beings, and I
Mm-hmm.
was a mantis being. And I was on like I was seeing another planet, and I was kind of seeing like the layout of where they were, and it um looked like sand, kind of sand temples, but like if you've ever seen pictures of like, I don't know, the colonies on Mars or something like that. I don't know how
Right,
to
right,
explain
right,
it.
right.
That's what it looked like, but it,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
wasn't Mars. Um my higher self said it was Venus.
Venus.
So that was really interesting. But yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't have tons of like knowledge or information on mantis beings, on Venus, on like any of this. And I was, they kind of asked like, she asked like, oh well, what did you do there? And like something about I think I was like protecting the colony or something like that. And
Mm.
she said, oh well, how do you do it? And I said, with lasers. And it's like, there's no way my 3D self would like make a story up like that I'm using
Right.
lasers. Like, what? I was just so, it was so bizarre. um so yeah, so that's been 2 times that these mantis beings have come up. And then I've had just kind of interactions like at home where, and they specifically show up when I'm either having like a really intense period of like rapid spiritual growth. Sorry, I
Hmm.
have like a cat hair on me. um, Spiritual expansion, they'll show up, or if I'm like in like a really having a hard time, like either something traumatic's happening or I'm extremely stressed, then they'll show up. I've noticed that's when they show up. So I mean, like physical, like I'm literally seeing, and I know this sounds crazy, but like I'm literally seeing little praying mantises, and I don't see them very often.
Do you
Um,
see them like your eyes open and everything?
no, like as in the insect, like the
No, but
insect.
I mean like yeah, the insect, the I get oh like you physically see them
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your.
yeah. Physically see them.
Oh, okay, okay, physically
Yeah,
see them.
yeah. So that's just kind of like a sign, like, okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I never ever used to see these things ever. And then when I'm having like a really like profound, intense
Mm.
experience, like I'll randomly see this mantis being. And then I don't see the mantis for like months and months and months after that. you know.
Yeah.
So I've heard that can be, like a sign. Just kind of like synchronicities and different things, but I'm
Right,
like,
right,
okay, so
right.
this is now like multiple layered experiences of interacting with this particular species, right? So
Right.
I don't think I'm like concocting that in my mind, you know?
Right, right, right. I have similar with snakes. I don't know if I don't know if I have it that much out, or because sometimes on social media I write different things, but that's been my experience for, I would say, probably like now closer to 2 years.
Hmm.
Snakes, physical snakes, show up in
Yeah.
my path everywhere,
Hmm.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've lived in the same place where I lived. My cat brings snakes like on the regular, where before she wouldn't. But just the past 2 years, I go outside to walk the dog, snake. We
Yeah.
go camping somewhere, I turn around, snake. It's just been so. I understand what you mean with the getting that interaction with that same
Well,
animal.
it's an energy, right? Yeah, so like
Right, right,
I see like it's serpent energy. So like yeah, also
right.
I also have like
Transformation.
specific like animal totems or animal symbols that will like show up, and then I'll be like, okay, this is like means this, or obviously I'm getting a message from like the spirit realm.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm sure a lot of people would think that's crazy, but that's like what shamanism, which is the oldest religion on the
Right,
entire
right.
planet, they knew that like animals would show up and it would mean something in particular.
Right, and that's the whole journey they go into. Also, they're very connected with animals. When they like their shapeshifter things, they have the animal, right? Like they
Yeah, like a
connect
totem
with the
animal.
spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the spirit.
So I've always interacted with, well, I guess basically since 2020, I've had tons and tons and tons of interactions with owls. And I literally have an owl that's like right outside my bedroom, not every night, but some nights it's like every single night for weeks, and then I don't see him for a while, but it's like year after year this owl's been sleeping outside my bedroom window.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting. So cool. I love that. Yeah, like, and taking in all these signs, it's always like, if most people would be like, okay, it's just a thing, whatever. We're like, okay, let's look at it like this. What does it mean? What am I being shown? What do I need to look at? What do I need to,
Hmm.
yeah. So let's get into a little bit. So you mentioned, we got into the Venusian star seed and the mantis beings showing up for you. And there was something that I wanted to ask on that too. Oh yeah, so besides the mantis, are there other ETs that you connect with, that you feel you're being led, like being guided by? And then like, I guess angels too, like you. Yeah. How does that? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say this, and I know a lot of people would be like, whoa, if they hear it. So at the same Starseed Origins thing, so she did a full like, not like family tree, but a full like, okay, literally like uh mom, dad,
Mm-hmm.
grandfather, brother, sister, like even like children. It sounds really weird. Um being star star beings, like your soul star family is what she called it.
Right.
So yeah, she did say there were some that were reptilian, which there are. Years ago I used to think all of them were negative, and I would say a large majority of them are negative, and then there are some benevolent reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then but yeah, so then also I've just had weird experiences where like so I don't know if you know a lot about, like, obviously a lot of people say that they're dragon bloodline. So basically what they're talking about is that is a reptilian bloodline.
Right.
Um yeah, so which is like,
And with the O negative, or like just negative, RH negative, and
yeah,
then something
so
with the O negative as well. And like, yeah, there's
yeah, so I don't focus too much on like the blood
blood
types, for
types.
instance,
Uh-huh.
because it's more like it's DNA,
Mm-hmm.
like the DNA that you carry, not like your blood type. Although a large majority of people who have the negative, um,
RH,
it's the
yeah.
rhesus factor. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
prevalent in 90 something percent of humans. So if you have that, they have absolutely no idea where that comes from. So if you don't have the rhesus factor, like they absolutely cannot explain why some people don't have it. So I actually have I'm not
You're not.
negative um, blood, but yeah. So anyways, so there's that. And so I've met a lot of people online that like talk about dragon energy and dragon bloodline and stuff, and I was like, why do why do so many people talk about this? Or like, I'm surprised so many people know about it, because I feel like I was like literally on like a quest to find all this information about it, because
Mm,
um I know that I am of that bloodline. So
mm-hmm.
anyways, so and then I've just had weird experiences. Like I don't hire people to come into my house because I don't know who's showing up, and I'm really weird about letting people in the house. But a few years ago, I literally had a housekeeper show up, and she started talking to me about reptilians, and I was like, why?
Chill.
Why is
Like,
this?
I don't know why this
Yeah,
story is bringing up like in me. Okay.
yeah. So I was just like, why is this? Like, what are the chances this lady like comes in and starts talking to me about reptilians? So then I don't know, we got in a whole conversation about the supernatural and
Uh-huh.
ETs and all of that. But then I like decided like I didn't want to be around that. So I didn't have her back. But it was just like, why does this keep like coming into my field?
Mm-hmm.
Um
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so then that obviously that's another species that I've had a lot
Yeah.
of, I guess, interaction or whatever with.
Interaction with.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel that these interactions help you with like your mission? Do you get, like you said, because you said you're claircognizant, right? And so then like you just get information from them, this information that drops in, and then like it helps you in which ways, like modalities? What do you use? You said you used Reiki, and I think you said quantum healing, right? Or
So yeah, so I mean, I found out and I'm not saying this just to like brag or anything, but I'm an extremely, extremely gifted um, at Reiki,
at
extremely.
Reiki.
And I've only even done level one, but I'm just naturally proficient at Reiki. Um, so yeah, no, I don't think those, I don't know. So the I'm sure the mantis part, the mantis are master healers.
Mm,
Like if you spend time looking into them, they're like the healers of the ET species.
mm,
And then I've also heard that they like oversee all of the other species, like have to, it sounds weird, like report to them.
mm-hmm.
Um, so they're like very high up on the totem pole. And this is coming from Stephen Greer, if you know who that is, Dr. Stephen Greer.
No.
He's like a world renowned ET disclosure
Oh, okay.
expert. So, anyways, that's where I'd
Yeah.
heard, not because not a lot of people talk about mantis. It's not like super well known.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, um,
Yeah, usually, especially in the new age, the focus has been on what, like
I
Arcturians,
hear Palladian constantly
Pleiadian,
and Arcturian, and then Lyran or Lyran.
Lyran.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lyran. Yeah. So yeah, so I don't in particular, like I think that does help me to have that connection, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more so I feel like that Um, also, I know the mantis are definitely my guides. At least one of them is a guide, like a permanent guide that I have.
Yeah, yeah,
So that helps more with like information. Like I feel like that's where I'm getting information. Like if I'm needing um, to get particular information on a subject or a person, or to like protect myself, because I run obviously like having all these kind of experiences, you do attract a lot of like really weird and even negative experiences into your field.
right, right.
And you know, it is scary, and it does. I used to get really, really like kind of like depressed about it, and I was just like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, why
Mm-hmm.
do I keep running into these people over and over and over again? And then I've just kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, well, obviously I signed up for this, and there's a reason that I keep running into. It's kind of more like a movie now to me, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. It's like they're characters, like in the
Right.
like storyline, right? Like just try not to pay like a ton of attention to it, or too much particular attention to them, like
Yeah.
if that makes sense, to kind of just be a little bit more removed from the interaction.
Right, right. I totally get it. Yeah. If you don't put in your attention to that energy, it kind of, yeah, like at least more or less. I get it. So, yeah, let's get into you also mentioned that you do grid work. So how does that look like for you, and how do you experience that, and really the connection that you have to the earth's consciousness?
um so I guess I feel like this is one of the ones that's more harder to put into words, I would say, but I have noticed for years things that I think, I guess let me explain it this way. I think Carl Jung, you know, the
Yeah,
famous Swiss psychoanalyst, said mystics in particular have, um, or they have a particularly um, strong experience of the collective unconscious. Um, I got that a little wrong. So like something will happen to me, like directly, you know, in my little
mm-hmm.
world. Um, but then I see it happen like on a larger scale.
Right.
It's like if that makes sense. So like
Yes,
I'm the
yes.
microcosm, and then it
Yeah,
translates over to the macrocosm, which is like then all of a sudden something happens in society that it's like, whoa, that just happened to me, or like that just happened to me. And so I'm like, okay, I feel like this is now going to happen soon because I just experienced it. Just if that makes sense. I know that sounds
yeah,
kind of weird.
yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah.
So yeah, he basically said that like the mystics experience what like what the collective will be going through at like an individual level, and then sometimes like it'll happen to me in my life or with my family or something, and then it'll happen in society.
Right.
um
And so
yeah,
then, therefore, you already went through it. You have all that wisdom where you're able to navigate and bring that wisdom into the collective because of, yeah.
yeah, so I mean that can happen through like thoughts. Like I'll get like information. When I say information, I mean like I'm getting like downloads or thoughts, right, about things that I feel like are going to be happening um, in the collective consciousness, or it'll be a dream, or it'll be, you know, Jung talked about like dreams, images,
Yeah.
symbols, that kind of a thing. So like I'll have like these really profound experiences, and then like there might be a bit of a time lag, but
Mhm.
then I'm like, okay, I kind of like predicted that that was going to be happening.
Right.
And it might take a year, it might take 2 years, but that
Mhm.
has happened in numerous situations.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've had experiences like that too, where whatever happened, and then I'm like, yeah, this is what's gonna play out, and then it happens, and everyone's like, how?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I guess like way shower is like a
Mm-hmm.
common term I see for it.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
the things happen to you first, and then you can like help society through it when it's their turn, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. And so this is how it relates to, like you're saying, the grid work that you do with, or is it
Okay.
like,
So
yeah.
yeah, so at on that note, I guess I'm gonna think of like do you know who David Hawkins is? The
Right,
scale of
with the
consciousness.
scale. Yeah.
So I've got to thinking like if you look, especially because I've looked up the number of just like Kundalini awakened individuals on the planet, and it's not very many.
Right.
Um, I can't
I
remember what
would
it is, but
think.
it's not very many. Um, so I want to say he said one person operating at um, I don't know if it's 500 or 600, maybe it's higher. One of the
The
higher
higher
tiers of
consciousness
consciousness essentially will alchemize 750,000 individuals operating
at
at
low.
X point and lower,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, so it's like you are literally transmuting all of this energy in like your vessel essentially for the the collective. So that's kind of how I feel like grid work operates is like your body is like literally a conduit of
Mm,
transmuting lower and negative energies and bringing in higher energies, which can look like a change in consciousness. And I think like that's the huge thing that everyone's going through right now, and why things have gotten so just out of control and bizarre, and everyone's like, what is happening? Even
right.
people that are completely blind and asleep or have an idea that something is happening, right?
Yeah.
um so yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the veil is being like ripped off right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is. And with that being said, I kind of, now that we've explored this question, um, do you think there's enough even of the awakened individuals to change the outcome of like what we see happening right now? Because right now there's a lot happening and more is going to happen. And do you think that there's enough of us to reverse all of what is prepared for us?
Yeah, I definitely do, and I think it's
Yeah.
more and more people every day. Like it was kind of slow. I would meet people here and there, like 2020, 2021, 2022, and then maybe I don't know, like 2023, then it was like okay, a considerable amount of people, and then more and more and more, and now it's just like I feel like it's like exponential at this point.
Right. There's definitely more people who are like, if in 2020 we said one thing and it was like, you're crazy, what are you talking about? Now everybody's talking about it. When it was
Yeah, yeah. Um
yeah.
yeah, they can't stop the awakening that's happening right now. It's like I feel like it's in like a free fall. That's why you're
Mhm.
seeing everything like collapsing at once and
Right, that's
just
where I was going with. So do you think this collapse, like, because it has to be a collapse. Like, there has to be a collapse because the way it's going, it's not gonna stop. But I don't
yeah.
know.
Um no, the let's see. So even last year, and this is more like astrological, and I'm not even big into astrology. Like I find tons of people that are really into astrology. I'm just it's not really my thing. Like obviously I understand it somewhat and I believe in it. I just that's not my like expertise. But I've noticed for sure like last year like was the year of the snake, and it was just like
Yeah.
shedding of like the illusions and the veil. But I feel like everything was really stagnant. Like I kept
Yeah.
trying to do things. I kept trying to like either start little projects or like
Yeah.
people would invite me in podcasts and stuff, and it was just like not a good fit or it wasn't working out. And I was just like, I kept being like, oh, like God, I really wanted this year to like start doing a bunch of things because I've taken a few years off of doing like creative work. And all of a sudden with this year of the horse, I feel like it's just been like go, 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 go,
Yeah,
go.
like we're ready. Let's jump into it.
Yeah. Like I feel like
I
I've been
love
feeling a lot more like creative again and like
Right.
more social, more like ready where it earlier, I mean in the year of the snake it was kind of more like just like a stagnant energy, but you can tell just within the month of January alone, I feel like so much has happened. It's like it feels like it's like a year's worth of
What-
like events
Yeah.
in condensed in a month, you know? And we're not even all the way through January.
Right. Exactly.
Do you think so?
Yeah, no, I this month has been, but I always have a lot of events in January, but it's definitely been amped up. And last year has also for me, I can't say stagnant, but I kept running. It felt like either as soon as I tried to do something, it's like I always talk about it like a rug being pulled from under my feet. Like I started and I'm like, oh, I'm down again. Okay,
Hmm.
I have to get up and start again. Or
Yeah,
if I try, I run into a wall. It's like, boop, stop, can't do, can't go. Nope, stop,
yeah,
full stop. So I definitely felt all of that on. I feel more of a collective level because there's also like they calculate, like you said. I like all of that stuff. It's also not my area of expertise when it comes to astrology or numerology. I just like to research it for myself, you know? Like, even my personal year was a pretty nice, easy going year, but on a collective, I just, yeah. So I feel with that for sure with you. And yeah, this year, especially the fire, they say it's a fire horse, right? So we're going to be, there's going to be a lot shifting.
hmm
And we're going to, I think, on a collective level, do you feel we're going to be going through even more like crazier events? What do you
oh,
think?
definitely. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how like interested or involved you are in like let's just say politics for instance, but
Yeah.
yeah, so the shit is gonna like is hitting the fan, has already hit the fan. Whereas like last year people are like saying nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. But now and
Yeah.
I won't go into that because I don't want to go into a political rant or whatever, but
Right.
clearly you can see that it's like
It's being amped up.
it's like happening now,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It definitely. And not just here, but like other parts of the world as well. And
Oh, definitely, yeah, because it's global. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure. So, let's get into a little bit. We got into grid work and how all of that really, I guess, affects us. Um, and let's get into more of the work that you do. And so, like, again, you said that you work with individuals who have severe psychological trauma, right? And how do you, with the severe trauma, there's a lot that has to do with the nervous system as well. How do you hold space for that? How do you work with maybe the nervous system and just the whole process of integrating all of the transformation that you do energetically and otherwise.
So I'll first I need to know that I'm not working in a clinical sense anymore, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
plan to ever go back into working clinically,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like my consciousness has just evolved like past a point of ever using that kind of a system, if that makes sense. So um I don't know, I guess I've just seen so much, and like just with Reiki, for instance, you can just go in and within the body, literally everything is in the body, all the memories, all the pain, all the blockages, all the, the energy centers. People think it's total woo woo nonsense, um but like I can literally go in um to do Reiki, and I can feel which chakra has a blockage, and I can get actual tangible information of like a problem that that person's currently having or has had, a trauma, um like
Mm-hmm.
just so many different things. Like I can literally just go over and find it,
Yeah.
and the person says like, oh my god, like how did you know that, or like that's exactly what I'm going through right now. So like it's all there, it's all within the body, and and so the healing, I think, needs to take place on an energetic level. Like
First.
that's why I'm not interested in
Yeah.
doing anything clinical anymore, because it's like they're totally ignoring the energetic body, which I think is like the absolute foundation to a person's being. um so yeah, it's just there's and I haven't gone, like I think somatics is where it's at. Somatics, Reiki, um hypnosis, like those
Mm-hmm.
are the tools that are actually going to heal people. Other than obviously like nutrition and
Right.
those kinds of things, but um yeah, your body knows how to heal itself, your brain can heal itself, like all of those issues. Yeah, I just we're in a going into a totally different paradigm, I think, for healing
For healing.
now, because the so like let's just take past life regression
Mm-hmm.
as an example. So like you could be having an issue now that is not even coming from this lifetime.
Right. Right.
um
Have you discovered that in your clients?
yeah. Like in particular, sometimes it'll be like a pain, like um a pain in a particular area.
Mm-hmm.
um I'm just thinking, like in my case, I went to I went to like a hermetic reader, like geez, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago or something, and he literally, I have pretty severe neck pain. It's like I've always had neck pain, and
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been in an accident or anything to cause the neck pain. I don't do like sports or anything like that. And he said that my neck pain was caused by being hung in a past life. And he said I was like an outspoken, I think he said politician or something. And at the time, I was like, I was pretty young, and I was like, oh, I don't, that doesn't really sound right. But
Oop. Uh-oh.
oh, sorry, you cut out for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, like it just I don't know what happened, but we're back. So yeah, you were saying that that doesn't sound right, and I was like, yeah, yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no.
Hopefully it was just like a quick internet thing.
Yeah. Um. sometimes I would think that right now I wouldn't have. How am I looking? How is the sounding now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It was
Okay,
just,
perfect.
it was pausing for large chunks of
Yeah,
time, so
yeah,
hopefully it doesn't keep happening.
yeah. It seems to be okay now.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
so yeah, and then just like going through like traumatic things. It sounds crazy, but just like losing my mom, for instance. Like I now totally, obviously it was um terrible and just like the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life to lose my mom, right?
Yeah.
But like from a higher perspective, I now totally believe that that was pre-orchestrated, that I needed to lose my mom so that she could give me help on the other side to do what I'm supposed to do. And that might sound totally crazy to some people. Like that's like a weird way to look at it, or that's like a removed way to look at it. But
Mm,
yeah, just
I agree with you on that, like you said, that it you feel that it has helped you with that. So yeah, absolutely.
yeah, because I didn't know exactly what had gone on with my family until after she passed. And then that has like
Right.
put all the puzzle pieces together in my own life as to what is happening, has happened to people, either coming after me now after she's passed, and also like to put the pieces together to what's going on in the collective, because it's intertwined.
Intertwined. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, let's talk about I guess what kind of challenges you faced walking this path, right? And how I guess working on your shadow, right? And turning it, alchemizing it into into the gifts that you now share with the world and that you share on your mission. So let's, I guess, get into that. Ha, how the challenges that you faced growing up, everything that you've uncovered, how have you transformed all of that to now do what you do? Yeah.
Um, okay, well, and this is it's probably not going to resonate unless people really know about like the occults and occult abuse and that kind of a thing. But in particular, my mother and family were in, not my mother was involved, but she was abused by a particular society, I will just say, which my grandparents were involved in, and they're dead. And that same group of people just happens to be running our all of our institutions, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
um so obviously to me it's extremely personal, um because it's those are like the I guess controllers of the matrix,
All
if
right.
you will.
Right.
um that particular group, and so I have like a very very direct experience of knowing who they are and how they operate, but now
Mm,
also seeing what what they do within our society. And I am now seeing the public like with bits and pieces, and I don't want to fully go into this because it's pretty dark, but I'm now seeing like a lot of the information in like the public consciousness, whereas just years ago you never would have seen that information,
right.
because obviously it's secret, right? It's secret for
Right.
a reason. um, so yeah, and then also as with the grid work, I think because obviously your soul has particular karma and things it wants to resolve with particular energies or groups or people, that kind of a thing. Like, I believe that I came in to the family on my mother's side to kind of go up against um, that darkness, you know? Um, so I've seen, uh, I don't know, I've just seen things that people would not believe. And I feel like I have a really good grasp of how, and I will say the matrix, it sounds crazy, but it is actually like a matrix, how it operates. And
Right.
people, I feel like, are just kind of being allowed like glimpses of it now because the veil is getting so thin, and eventually it's going to be gone. The veil's just going to be gone, and they won't be able to operate in the ways that they do now.
Yeah. Um, and that's going to be, I think, a very scary time for people who are not aware
Mm-hmm.
and who kind of right on that surface level. Um, so, do you think, I guess, then that everything that you've been through is really just giving you the opportunity to kind of, like you said, to put all the puzzle pieces together about who you are, about how the matrix operates? And so, do you have now like good ways to guide people, let's say, to like kind of how to operate from a higher level in this matrix, or how, I don't know if we can completely step out of the matrix. We can kind of, because physically we still exist here, we are here on a mission, but I guess our mission is to get on a level of consciousness where we're kind of in between all the dimensions, where we don't get affected by it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that just made me think of like going back to the chakra system, right?
Yeah.
They want humanity operating in the lower three chakras only. Um, in
Survival.
those center survival. So, fear, guilt, shame,
Mm-hmm.
negative thinking, victimhood, um,
Yeah.
not, just totally being unstable and not, because when you are, so that's exactly it. So if you are so focused on survival, you are never, ever, ever going to access the higher levels of consciousness because you are so focused on just survival. Like that's all you have energy and bandwidth to focus on, right? So people can't, um, people can't put food on their table. They're working some shitty job that they hate. Um, there's massive like political chaos where people are afraid and they're angry and they're outraged and they're um then so
Yeah.
emotional energy your emotional energy and just your energy in general are like the most precious commodities in your time, right? um that you have, so that they obviously they manufacture events to take place so that people are just stuck in those three lower chakras and just all they're focused on is what major horrible event has happened that week,
Mm-hmm.
or just trying to survive essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And with the things that you do, like with Reiki and all the other things and whatever, like, do you help your clients to kind of really step out of that and be like, hey, you don't have to kind of live in the survival. Like, there's other things that you can do to step out of it.
um it's just like releasing, so like usually, and obviously you're not like doing therapy or anything while you're
Mm-hmm.
doing Reiki on someone, but just like especially with women, for instance, like you'll have someone come in and a lot of times I will feel um if somebody has been sexually abused energetically, I can feel it. It's either in the root or the sacral chakra. Like I can feel
Right.
it. Um and so, that's the the root is a survival center. So if you have all that stuff there that's never been dealt with, that's really, really hindering you from having um like just like a connection to God or connection to
Right.
source in the universe, because it's like, especially if it's somebody like betrayed you as a child, or like a person that you trusted, especially, like think about what that does to a person's psyche. It's like
Right.
the world is unfair, the world is unsafe. um I've been victimized, like this horrible thing happened to me, and so they have to live with that, you know so obviously it's like, well, then you're not going to feel connected to source consciousness and love and God,
Mm-hmm.
um because of that horrible thing, um
Right.
if that makes sense. So yeah, clearing those kind of things out so that they can just like feel connection, like that. Just, I feel like having another person, and this does happen in therapy too, but having another person like witness that and
Mm.
like be there for you, and kind of like just experience, they can, I don't know. Part of it is like it's literally like magical, like going in and they don't have to say a word to me. They don't have to say one word, and I can walk over and find whatever it was, and just like I've literally just like gone over to a person and found that and looked them in the eyes, and they just start bawling.
Oh yeah, like I just felt it all within when you said that.
Yeah, and I'm like
Yeah.
starting to cry now because yeah,
Yeah, like I felt all of that. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So because you're seeing them, you know what I mean, like you're seeing them, they're just, that's like real, like human connection. They're like, how is somebody like seeing me, because it's just so raw, and it's, I feel like it's very pure, and then it's kind of just like, yeah, like like um I'm here and like witnessing this with you, and like you've survived, and we can do some work to try to like move this energy, essentially, because it's like, and that's how I feel like it all ties back in to like medical illnesses too. It's like cancer a lot of the time is like, oh, I was sexually abused as a child, I was beaten as a child, I have an abusive husband, or I have
Right.
a really stressful job, or I'm really, really angry because X, Y, and Z happened to me. And it's like years and years and years of that energy being stagnant and not going anywhere. And then it manifests into disease. So that's why I think like spiritual and energy work is, where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And do you think, I think we didn't really even get into so much, but being a priestess, and for me personally, I know there's of course levels to all of this and initiations and things like that, but right now what I'm seeing is the rise in the divine feminine, right? Where like I feel like the divine feminines are leading that revolution, and obviously that energetic, right? We're starting there once again, where it's all connecting that spiritual realm with the physical, right? The divine masculine will support us, while the divine feminine is going to lead and start that revolution. And with that, being said with the a priestess, how do you feel that being a priestess and being anchored into all of this, do you think this is helping you also with the women? Because I think we touched up on women, and do you believe there's a lot of women out there right now that yeah, like what's your take on women really having these kind of like abusive situations, sexual abuse, abusive relationships, or childhoods? Do you think there's a like big percentage of women that are living with this? Even I think going into, let's say, childbirth, right? Like just giving birth in, let's say, a medical setting, that could traumatize women and their sexual energy and their connection. Like,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I think so I just happen to know because I was working with survivors of child sexual abuse. About 1 in 3 women have been sexually abused as a child, and about 1 in 5 men have been sexually abused as a child. So that's a
That's
huge,
a huge amount.
huge amount of the population. Um, so yeah, so if you think about that, it's like someone's innocence, and essentially to me, like that's your connection to God, right? Because when something so heinous happens to you, it's hard to believe that there's God, right? Because why would God allow something so horrible to happen to you, right? So yeah, I think like if innocence is destroyed extremely early on, it's totally changing the trajectory of that person's life, and then obviously it's changing society because you have a society of traumatized people. um
Right.
yeah. um but yeah, so I think part of it is, it's like on purpose, not in like in an
Right.
energetic way, because it's like the destruction of innocence. God, so that's the thing. Like I think about like you're talking, like a woman is not going to ever be able to rise into like her power when she's so busy like dealing with extreme trauma, like trying to heal those either memories or physical things, that kind of a thing.
Right.
um so yeah, just like it's like stripping away a person's dignity and innocence, and it's soul loss is what it is. um because, and then especially like working with survivors of extreme abuse, um I believe the soul becomes like fragmented,
Fragmented.
literally fragmented. And then you can look at like, multiple personality disorder, which is caused by extreme abuse. I believe part of that is spiritual, and that's because the soul was fractured,
Right.
because consciousness will fracture itself to try to make that situation survivable.
Right.
So
Right.
then you have a person that's like not they're not integrated, and they're just like trying to survive. And so if you do that to a large percentage of the population early, they're never going to be able to
Rise into,
kick
yeah.
the people in power out, right?
Right. Right. And
And then
therefore,
they're, yeah, move forward, be productive in their own way, be sovereign, independent, abundant, financially, well.
right.
um Yeah, so then it goes into like, well, then it's perfect for them, right? Because then you'll always just have people that are um needing like the
That
um
they, the breadcrumbs that they provide, and keeping them
exactly, yeah.
trapped in the cycle of just surviving.
Exactly. Then you have
The
people
circling, yeah.
people that are um waking up and working at McDonald's for $7 an hour, 30 hours a week or 40 hours a week. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
like just it's feeding them the machine, if you will. I
Right,
know that
right.
sounds weird. But
Yeah,
if people are like their best selves, their healed, integrated selves, then that kind of a system doesn't function. It doesn't work, right?
right.
So like I mean like the people that I connect with are like, operating at higher levels of consciousness, like they're realizing like they want out of all those systems. They're opting out of all of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And does well, yeah. Let's get into then. So do you think being a priestess and basically like a spiritual leader, do you think it is it is helping, it is like with everything that you do you think it's one of those things that's finally now helping not only the divine feminine but also the masculine to rise into their power, but the divine feminine to again work through the traumas, release all of this to be able to step into a higher, a higher, like really get into a higher consciousness or step into their higher self and a higher timeline, so to say. Do you think being a priestess does help in that as well? Like, or your lifetimes as, let's say, a priestess or in this, yeah.
Yeah. And let me try to kind of put this together in like a palatable way. Yeah, I think they've intentionally set it up to where the men are asleep, the women are asleep, or even if the woman is like awake, and the man is asleep, or vice versa, um, like the divine roles cannot be played out because the system doesn't allow for it, right? So, like, let's
Mm-hmm.
just take, being a wife and mother, for instance, which is like the pillar of society. Like, the family unit is the pillar
Right.
of society, which is what they're trying to destroy, which is on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because family is like protective in so many ways, psychologically, um, just in every way. So, anyways, they're trying to destroy the family unit because they want people dependent on the system, the state, the government, whatever it is. Because you can't, like, family, it's like an innate sense. Like, they come before everything, right? So, they've
Right.
disconnected women totally from their intuition, from their bodies, from their instincts, from everything. And they have to be because um what kind of woman wants to like drop her kid off and um leave them with a stranger for 9 hours a
Right.
day and go work for some shitty boss and sit under fluorescent lights and be
Mm-hmm.
told what to do. But they've made it so that that's not having to participate in that um is not even available or attainable for a large percentage of the population.
Right. That's definitely true.
So I guess so with your question,
Yeah.
yeah, so I do think like the I don't know, the universe or the world or whatever was set up so that a man and a woman in union to
Mm-hmm.
create a family was set up to operate in a certain way where the mother is in her feminine energy and she's not um, drained and depleted and dependent on an external source, meaning, her boss or the government or the state or whatever. And she's able to be nurturing and intuitive and creative and protective and sensual and relaxed and I don't know if I said abundant. And then in turn, like then she also feeds into her partner, um, because she's able to give
Mm-hmm.
back to him in that feminine energy where it's like a reciprocal relationship. And obviously we're just
Right.
talking about a man and woman. it's a reciprocal relationship where then the man can fulfill his role and masculine role. And this is my personal belief that men should be provider, protector. It's like, even going back to the hunter gathering societies, like you
Mm-hmm.
can look at hunter gathering societies or societies all over the world that are not modern, and they all operated in a fairly similar manner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we've gotten so far away from that that I think, I don't know, I just feel like people are so lost because, and now everyone's depressed and they're on a bunch of medications, which is great for people in charge because then you're a
Right.
customer because you're so miserable, just trying to survive, going to some shitty job, paying your bills, never getting to see your family, and
Right.
you're tired and um, you're not being able to do creative pursuits. You might not have any time for spiritual pursuits because you're so
Right.
just busy living, like
Yeah.
just like the bare minimum.
Surviving.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Surviving,
Surviving. Yeah. Just barely surviving. Yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely something I definitely see in the world right now. And yeah, that's why I focus so much on really the feminine and showing women that there's a different way and that we are really so closely connected to God, to source,
Mhm.
really like direct connection, I know men too, of course. We just, yeah, so much more, right?
Yeah.
So much
And
more intuitive, and yeah, like my purpose is to really, really show women how to get out of that survival, how to fill themselves up, how to be more like live in a more relaxed way, because all we're ever being shown is the rush, do, be,
mhm, yeah.
not even be, do. You're doing it, like everything is just do. There's no time to slow
To
down
be, yeah.
and be, right? And
Mhm,
it's like
yeah.
we're not human doings, we're human beings. We should
Yeah.
be from time to time instead of rushing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and a lot for me that like what I do deal with is the nervous system, and how much it's absolutely like I love what you brought in here with how it's so everything's interconnected. Everything, right? Our bodies, right? The physical body with the energetic body. I don't know if you see this as true, but I think our physical bodies are a reflection of our energetic body, right? So if there is something within the physical body, right, like you said, anything that's energy that's stuck, blocks, physical ailments, things of that nature, whatever is within the physical, it's a reflection of the energetic, and the energetic is reflecting into the physical, creating the physical, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. 100%. I do have to start getting ready to go here.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, definitely. It's all interconnected, you know?
right.
That's why, especially once you've had like a spiritual awakening, it's like you're like, wow, everything is connected. Literally everything.
Yeah. So with that, I think I want to just one more question, right? So anything that you would like to, any last words to whoever's listening, tuning into this episode, right? They're really, something is happening there, resonating with all of this. What kind of, like, what would you offer them, a message, maybe something that could, I don't know, trigger remembrance within them and who they truly are? And of course also the last message, and then things what you have to offer, right? If you have any kind of offerings, classes, things you do one-on-one, Reiki or group or healing or QHHT, whatever it is, like that you're out there, anything that you're creating, you want everybody to know, and ways to contact you or reach out to do those things if you care to share. Yeah.
Um, so basically what I want, I guess, to leave with is like, I don't want people to feel like they're in despair right now. I know things look really crazy and chaotic and dark, but that's because everything is everything false is being dismantled right now. And from there, something new has to come in its place. And I believe in my heart that what's coming is the new earth. So all of those dark structures and systems and institutions are very, very loud and noisy right now because they're being brought down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already in motion. It's just going more and more day by day. We're getting there. So, anyways, I that's what I want people to know is I know it looks absolutely batshit crazy out there right now, but it's because like the old software is being removed and there's like a software update installing right now for the entire planet and probably cosmos.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah,
And
yeah,
with that, I just kind of want to add in, I guess it came through that if, yeah, like if you're watching and you see it and you really don't know what to do, there's a bunch of us out here that are doing this work and can, I guess, offer guidance into, like, for example, Taylor here, who does Reiki and really get into the root of it, or others around you, me, who I deal with the nervous system, whatever it is, reach out in order to get the guidance to really ground yourself in these times, because I think a lot of people, their minds can go in
yeah,
this,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
definitely.
So that's what I wanted to add. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go on with
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm not I don't have any like particular offerings or anything as of yet or as of right now. Mostly just I post on my Instagram, which is
Mhm.
Magdalene Monarch, posts which I kind of use to bring about like messages that I'm like downloads that I'm getting for
Mhm.
what's going on with the collective consciousness and like kind of not to be weird, but like prophetic things that I think are taking place or going to happen soon is kind of like what I do with that. So yeah, so on that note, that's like the best place to see um what I'm doing, and in the future I probably will offer online Reiki, that kind of a thing. Eventually I'm nowhere near that point, but in the future I do hope to open a healing center. That's more down the line, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now.
All right, perfect. So I'll have all of that down, and anyone listening, resonating, go follow, read the posts, and yeah, keep updated, right? Get yourself updated on what's gonna be happening. So thank you so much for making the time to really connect with me today and get into all of these. I I want to say woo woo, but I don't think it's woo woo. I think it's really the reality, the real, the real reality, the I don't know, quantum reality of
Yeah,
who we
yeah,
really are. That's what's coming through. It's the quantum reality of who we are, and yeah. It has been fun. We went into a lot of, I think, deep topics, and it was really great to connect with you. So thank you so much for being
Yeah.
here and
Yeah,
for
Lena,
doing
thank
this.
you.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. And so until next time, bye
Until
bye.
next time. Bye. Thank you.